I'd like to call our meeting to order, and I ask you to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the roll.
Kenny,
Here.
Shower,
Here.
Gustafson,
Here.
Sullivan,
Here.
Clistic,
Here.
Vaughn,
Here.
Belzak,
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. That takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. This is something we put on our agenda several years ago. It allows a resident to address the council on any non-agenda issue. Does anyone have anything they'd like to address the council on that is not on our agenda this evening? And I know he was going to come forward.
Yeah, I guess I kind of got that Pavlovian response at this point. I will not take everyone's time. There's people here this time, so I won't keep you guys going. We had a real bad accident on the street the other day at the bus stop. Car coming off 67th real fast, just slammed in the back of another one. We've done great work so far. I still think there's so much more we could do. I've been emailing back and forth with Dan about the issue on 67th. The bollards definitely making an impact before and after. The whole street is like 2 miles long. So there's a lot more we could do. Sarah could not be here tonight. She lives further down. All we'd like to do is maybe just a speed study closer to Cass, maybe further away, and see what's happening when they're approaching, quarter mile, half a mile away. We just love to see it before anything worse happens because it was kind of scary. We were there waiting for the bus and just right in the back. So cool. So any questions, let me know. Otherwise, happy to handle via email. But I don't want to keep everyone's time today.
David, right?
Yeah, sorry, Dave Kaduk. Yeah, that's me. So.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, if I may comment on that, I know I did look into that situation. The accident occurred off of 67th on Ridge, approximately 50 feet from the intersection of 67th Street, actually north of 67th Street. And it appears to be that the driver basically took the turn too fast, potentially reckless driving. I don't know for sure, but he did rear-end a car that was sitting on the side. Father with 2 children in there in respect to what actually happened. I know that David had also commented on some additional traffic studies, which he was supplied with that additional information. At this point, I think the recommendation will be is that we look at another traffic calming device between Shawn Circle, I believe it is, and Richmond. So again, the last one was approximately $5,000. So I think, that's something we'll probably broach with the Municipal Services Committee for an additional measure. And again, there was some speeding there, but again, to the chief's point, there's been some additional patrolling as well as surveying that's been completed. So I don't know if the chief wants to comment on that any further.
No, I was gone all day today, so this is my first step in a uniform, so I'm not familiar with the issue. Well, the accident.
Yeah,
the speeding and all the other stuff, yes.
It happens. I'm always crossing Ridge there because the bus stop's on the other side a couple times a month, always kind of getting chased out or just waiting for people to go. Last question I'll have is what's the cost difference between the bollards, $5,000, and having extra police sit there for hours, a month, a week, whatever? I would kind of curious what that cost is as well. Could those police be doing something else in the town where the bollards could potentially be a solution that could require less actual, billable hours? That would be my question. So.
Well, to me, it's just doing the cost of business. I mean, obviously there's speeding throughout town. And,
for sure, yeah.
Again, is it's what I've sent you with the bollards currently in place. It has definitely helped.
In that
I would
section,
say,
for sure, yeah.
in that section, sure. And then we also had informed the city council probably a year ago, since we put those up, that we would take further reviews on it to determine whether or not there was additional traffic calming devices that could be taken. So again, I think this has worked out very well. I know that you also commented on Shawn Circle, taking a survey there. I believe it's approximately 200, 300 feet at best from Cass Avenue. So I don't see that as being anything pertinent to an additional study.
Oh, I was in the email, you had said that the study was done 1,000 feet from Cass.
Correct.
When I looked, that's actually 1,000 feet from Cass is Sean Circle.
Right.
So it's so that was the one from Richmond though. So I think that's more like a fifth of a mile or so. And it's not, I don't know. I'm not,
I know it was less than a quarter of a
Yeah,
mile
it's
because
right.
I looked at that, so.
Yeah, the biggest problem there is as you come up that hill off Cass, there's a crest of the hill that drivers cannot see over. They cannot see that intersection.
Yeah, approximately 2.5% is the grade differential.
Yeah.
And the grade differential in terms of feet is approximately 400 feet within 600 feet. So
Yeah.
that becomes out to about 2.4% on a grade radiant.
I failed geometry, so I'll take your word for it. And then this time of year, it also gets a little worse because the sun rises, it lines up. You get like this 67th Stonehenge thing happening. So the sun shining into the eyes makes it a little bit worse. So as we have kids go into delay school right there, the bus stop, I know these things change year from year, but it's just as they come over that hill, if they're speeding, it becomes a real issue where they can't slow down. And as we saw, they take the turn too fast and they hit something, 20 feet in there. So could be an issue. So I don't want to take everyone's more time. We have an audience here today. So I will be happy to just converse and continue this over email. And we can see you guys again in 2 weeks. So,
Thank you, David.
thank everyone.
Thanks, Dave.
And again, for anybody who might have arrived late, we're at the point of our agenda where anybody from the audience gets to address the council on any issue other than what's on our agenda. Is there anyone else who wants to address the council on anything else? Thank you, sir. Just state your name, please. Come to the microphone.
My name is Andy Williams, one of the guys here, Thomas. I have a situation that happened back on March 24th. Hey, I think it was March 14th. My son was in Sussex Creek over here, and him and another kid was playing on the roof. And they shouldn't have been on the roof. I get it. But then he was cited with an ordinance. And under the city ordinance for trespassing, it says it has to be a notice posted. Well, that notice was not posted. But he still gets the ordinance, cited for the ordinance. The situation I have with that is he's 15. And now what happens is the child is being cited for an ordinance that doesn't even meet the elements. And then the city prosecutor here, when we went to court, we couldn't speak for the son. And I want to address this because what it begins to do is bring a snowball effect. Now he's in the system for something that, based on the law, says it failed to state a charge because there was nothing posted, and a minor can't enter into a contract with nobody. But that's what happened in the court. And a lot of times, city council and other people are not aware of these things as are happening because it doesn't affect you. So me, as being his father and knowing Chief Thomas and coming from the background of being involved in streets and prisons and jail, I know the effects that this can happen that starts to create an implicit bias. And I'm asking us, let's not take everything and cite it for a penalty without trying to train up the children in the way that they should go, without immediately coming to a position and bringing up on charges. Because that's not fair to children. And us as adults are sometimes looking through our lenses and not through the lens when we were children and we played on roofs and we did things. So that is what I would like to say, and I hope some kind of way we can bring this to a resolve, at least in this particular incident, which it was him and his friend from school. And again, it's these little things start little, but then they turn into something big. And me being who I am, I feel like when we address the situation, it can bring retaliation to me. I'm in the litigation field, so I can file claims and do stuff. And imagine me saying, well, our rights got deprived, we got charged, I'm going to bring a claim against the city, and now the city's like, who is this troublemaker here? But I'm not doing that. I just want to make sure that all rights are being recognized and we're not just criminalizing our children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, I'd just like to add that I think everybody up here got a copy of your email.
Thank you.
I think we're all aware of what happened. I would say that the complainant filed a charge and wanted to see the charges. I think that we're very fortunate that nothing happened to your son.
Correct.
Being on the roof of an apartment complex, he could have been hurt. He could have fallen off that roof, along with that other young man. So I think that as much as you're unhappy with the end result. My hope is that he takes this as a learning lesson and he walks away from this and says, from this point on, I know that bad could happen, and he thinks about it next time. And again, I realize your concern is let's not criminalize minors doing things that minors do, and I understand that. I got the report from the chief today. I read through the report from the chief, and I understand what took place. We can't reverse what happened. You've paid the fine and everything like that, but I think at this point, no one wants to criminalize what a minor doing something that could easily be seen as a mistake. Although I think there are some things that minors do that should be criminalized because they're more serious. In this case, I don't know what direction. I worked in high schools for 35 years, and I worked as a dean of students, I worked with children who made mistakes, and I always weighed the penalty I gave that child based on how it could impact that child, and I never wanted it to negatively impact that child. And my only hope is this has not negatively impacted your son to the point where it bothers him in the future. I hope it's more of a learning experience for him.
Right, and I'm assuming it's the mayor. So, Mayor, I appreciate that. The position that I hold is the ordinance requires certain elements to be met, and those elements were not met because there was nothing posted. So I believe it's more than just criminalizing the child. I think sometimes our officers who are enforcers of the law cannot interpret the law. And I think that's the situation I'm more concerned with in this situation, because sometimes these mistakes are being made. That's what it really boils down to. So I thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Anyone else? All right, if no one else, takes us to approval of the minutes. I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of April 17th, 2023, moved by Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Gustafson. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? If none, the roll.
Kenny.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Shower.
Abstain.
Clistic.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Abstain.
I have 5 ayes and 2 abstentions.
Okay, the minutes have been approved. Takes us to receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications they'd like to share with the council? Alderwoman Sullivan?
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I've been in contact with Dan Gombeck and our municipal services team about the situation on North Frontage Road, not the typical situation, there's a new one. The sidewalk along the perimeter of Carriage Greens became, under disrepair, and there's some issues, so they've closed the sidewalk. And so, Dan, do you want to give us an update on that status? Since, once again, North Frontage Road is not a Darien road, is an Illinois Department of Transportation road. So it gets a little tricky when we need to take care of business and our hands are tied.
Sure, Alderwoman. Thank you. In respect to what Alderwoman Sullivan is referring to, this is fronting Carriage Greens on Frontage Road, and Frontage Road, as you all know, is not a part of the city roadway system. The city does have an agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation, or had an agreement to install a sidewalk on Frontage Road. Within this parameter, there is an existing wooden split rail fence. It is unclear who had actually put the split rail fence up. Unfortunately, due to the heavy drainage and flows that flow right through Carriage Greens under I-55, there's a lot of erosion there. The erosion itself is the responsibility of the Illinois Department of Transportation. And again, the split rail fence basically has been collapsing due to a lot of erosion. With that said, I would not recommend to put a split rail fence back in place, as any type of toddler and or child potentially riding a bike or even walking has the opportunity to fall into what's been referred to now as a gorge. The gorge is probably about close to 15 feet at its deepest point, and again, it's not a pretty scene. So one thing that's, the response from the Illinois Department of Transportation has been moot. And with that said, I've taken the initiative right now to have our staff take a look at securing quotes for a 3-foot cyclone fence within that stretch. That would at least afford the sidewalk and pedestrians. In combination with that, we have some other issues that we're dealing with a condo association, so we're trying to get back to the owner in regards to steel that's protruding from the right-of-way. But again, the situation is further exacerbated just due to the actual grade, and I won't get into that whole technical issue of it. So the expenditure could be close up to $10,000. We'll have to see what it all comes back with. So we may be coming back for consideration for defense, as well as potential grading. We're hoping that the homeowner or the property owner next door to Carriage Greens gives us permission and works with us. So again, that may be a moot issue as far as a financial responsibility.
Mary?
And just to clarify, this is it borders Carriage Greens, but it's not on Carriage Greens property. So this in no way is their responsibility. But yeah, I feel like this is, a little bit of a 911 emergency because it is a heavily used sidewalk. And now that spring has sprung, a lot of kids from down in Ward 5 like to ride their bikes to Cass Junior High. And a lot of people like myself like to walk their dog. And so I think it's important, people bike, people run, people walk, that, we not wait for IDOT to respond because clearly, we'll be waiting a very long time. And in conversations we had in the Springfield drive down when we met with representative from IDOT, I noted that other communities like Bolingbrook and other areas around us all commented that, if they waited for IDOT to come out and do service, it would never happen. So they've taken matters into their own hands. And I think this is a true safety concern that we need to do that. The city of Darien needs to be responsible for this at the time. And we just keep a tally of what we've spent.
Thank you, Mary. Alderman Gustafson?
Yeah, last month we put in a new street lamp at Woodvale and Beller, and we just got now in a request from another resident for a street lamp at Woodvale and 87th Street, so the other end of Woodvale. So we're now working with and getting the appropriate signatures and approvals from the impacted residents. But I just want to let residents know. The city does have a street lamp program. If you feel that you've got a dark spot in your subdivision there, reach out to Dan Gomback and or your alderman to take care of it.
Thank you. Alderman Kliss.
Thank you, Mayor. Since this is my last meeting, I got a quick not necessarily a stump speech, but special thank you to all of Darien. It is with a profound sense of gratitude I stand before you to express my heartfelt thanks for the honor and privilege of serving the office of Alderman of the 4th Ward for the past 8 years. From fighting for clean air for residents who had health problems for decades, to a new downtown landscaping that everyone comes to enjoy, blossoming each spring, to new sidewalks, rear yard drainages, and new traffic devices throughout town. Together we have accomplished so much that has improved the quality of life for our residents and future residents. I thank you, Darien residents, once more for allowing me to serve as your alderman, and I will always be thankful for the memories, friendships, and even the occasional disagreements. But above all, I'm glad to have left Darien an even better place to live. I wish Alderman Legansky the best of luck as he continues the proud tradition of raising the bar in Darien. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this where we give our thank yous?
If you want to.
Or should we wait? I don't know.
You can wait. You can wait.
Okay, all right. I do have one resident at 7033 Lenny and at 7033 Clarendon Hills Road. He has a question about the sidewalks that are going in and how it will change the configuration of his driveway. So he'd like for someone to give him a call or stop by to just discuss on how he could still park his cars in his driveway with the new sidewalks going in on Clarendon Hills Road. So I told him you would give him a call. So
Right. All right, we'll do that. We'll find out what his contact info is, and we'll reach out to him.
yeah.
Anyone else? Any other aldermen have any communications? Okay, we move on to the mayor's report. There's nothing listed under the mayor's report, but I just wanted to remind everyone that the month of May is National Mental Health Month. And the reason I mentioned this is we are working diligently with the county and with other mayors to bring about mental health reform here locally. When we went down to Springfield several weeks ago, we spoke to the governor as well as state legislators about how we'd like to see the restoration of the local government distributive fund. One of the ways we would like to use that money is to institute a mental health program that exists here in Darien. So I highlight that for you because I think it's a critical issue. There's still a stigma attached to mental health. People who seek mental health in some respects are embarrassed to admit that they're seeking mental health assistance. And I think we need to educate ourselves as to those signs that indicate someone needs that help. And we need to make those people know that we're there to help them and that we would recommend to them that they seek that assistance without any fear of embarrassment. So again, for this month, the month of May, National Mental Health Month, educate yourself with regard to the warning signs, what's there, and if you do know individuals who need help, please don't hesitate to make those recommendations to them.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to add comments to your, the morning we left for Springfield, because people today see me wearing this tie and they think it's because of, swearing in. A friend of mine and a good friend of a lot of people in the village of Downers Grove, Marine Corporal Paul Kludek went on Facebook the Wednesday before at 3:00 in the morning and said how embarrassed he was and how he's been suffering with with post-traumatic stress syndrome, and he just couldn't take it anymore and he committed suicide, and he put it right on the Facebook at 3:00 in the morning. And I got this at 5, and it was, I actually sang at his funeral this morning. And when we got down to Springfield, it was ironic. It was just fitting that we're talking about mental health issues. And if you ever knew Paul Kludek, you would say that there's not a chance that there'd be somebody like that. Always had a smile on his face. Always, hey buddy, how are you? And he tried getting help, and it just never ever helped. So we got to look out for every single one, because you look at somebody like, oh, he's fine, he's happy. No, and I think it's ironic today, or fitting, that his funeral mass was today on May 1st, the start of Mental Health Awareness Month. So that's all I got.
And if you think about it for a second, how many of you have known someone or known a loss of someone
Neighbor.
Who had a mental health issue where their demons got the best of them and we lost them? I've known, I hate to say it, but I've known any number of people that we've lost. And sadly, we didn't even know that they were having issues. And that's what's really hard. That's what complicates it. So again, please don't be afraid to intervene. Don't be afraid to educate yourself with regard to mental health. If you intervene in someone's life, you may be saving their life. So please pay attention to the need for good mental health, not just in the month of May, but throughout the year. And that's my mayor's report. It takes a city clerk's report. Joanne?
No report this evening.
A city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the wonderful mayor's report. In addition, just a reminder to residents that you'll be getting your tax bill if you haven't already received it.
We did.
This is usually the week where I'll get a lot of phone calls about the tax bills, and they're not very happy to say, hey, Brian, you want to hear about my tax bill? So I just remind everybody, when you get your tax bill, please look at the different taxing districts. And you could, obviously, the tax bill I'm looking at, there's a number of taxing districts. Some of those, like the city of Darien, might show city of Darien in a separate under pension fund. And add those both up and see where your taxes were last year versus this year. And then again, you could look at each individual district and compare that to last year or see where they're at this year. So again, just a reminder, I'm always happy to answer questions. I've been dealing with these types of things for many years, received calls for many years. But But again, if anybody's out there or watching, just take a good look at your tax bill so you know exactly where you might want to direct your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Takes us to department head information questions. Anything for Chief Thomas or for Mr. Gombeck from the Alderman? Nothing.
Chief,
Anything-
last meeting, we resident mentioned about grants. That you said you're going to be looking into it. Have you had any chance to do that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's quite extensive grant. Takes a lot of time and such an unlikelihood to receive that grant when you consider the BGA's looking at the nation and all the issues that different places have. So it's, to me, it's not worth the effort to try to put in for that particular grant.
Okay, thank you.
I just had one quick question for Dan. Dan, where do we stand now in the swap out of the water meters?
We're approximately 97% done. We have, about, like I said, probably close to 100 and probably 125, 150 at best. And we believe that a lot of these residents are still snowbirds. And again, they have failed to respond. So again, the way we've been working it is we're shutting their water off currently. And as soon as they identify that the water's been shut off, whether it's through the police department,
Do it.
hate to say this, but whether it's through the police department, we'll get a call immediately, and that evening, whatever the time is, our crews respond and they replace the water meter at the same time that they turn the water meter on. Again, I can't thank the whole department enough. It's really been a successful program to complete this within basically under a year. So it's kudos to all that were involved, including the vendors.
So
that
if
were
the people
involved.
come home and the water's shut off, they just call City Hall here?
City Hall during regular business hours, after hours, they typically end up calling 911.
Okay.
Dan, I need to put a feather in your department's cap because my water meter was located directly behind my furnace. And when Calumet Plumbing came out, they said that the furnace was going to have to be removed in order to put that water meter in. And I'm looking, I'm like, well, I'm hoping it is because I need a new furnace. However, your guys figured a way of getting in behind that furnace and changing out that water meter. So my hat's off to your department on that.
Thank you. But that's because the plumber was the wrong size.
Yeah, but you still need a new furnace, Joe.
Down the road.
Mary?
Oh, so, quick question. I assume that the people whose water's been turned off, the house has been tagged, so it's, it's not like they think that there's a plumbing issue inside. There's a tag on the front door notifying them that their water service has been discontinued?
Yes, they're definitely tagged, but again, we're doing it sort of low profile.
Sure.
So it's not making a scene throughout the neighborhood.
Okay. And then, as I walk about the neighborhood, I see in several instances, I know buffalo boxes, like the thing on your front lawn with the little head, had to be changed out or repaired because of the water meter setup. And there's rock. Is the city coming back and going to put grass there, or is that's just the way it's going to look from now on?
No, restoration is on the docket. We should be starting restoration again this week.
Okay.
But all those B boxes, buffalo boxes, will be addressed with the final landscaping.
Great. And I saw that on Facebook that the road patching is going to be starting too.
That's another program, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Dan, I have to say I was at Arbor Day the other day, and I had an individual came up to me and wanted to thank me for the mechanical meter we were going to be installing in her house. And I told her, don't thank me, thank Dan Gombeck. I said, I didn't do it, it was Dan, but she thanked me. And her husband looked at me and saw that I had my sling on my shoulder from my replacement. And today I got a notice from him. He wanted who my doctor was because now he's going to have his shoulder done. So we became friends the other day, Dan.
Good. See, I tend to make friends for everybody else.
This is not for yourself.
But myself, right? There we go.
No, I
that was
told her to thank you, not me.
very complicated issue.
Yes. Anyway, anything else? Any questions for either Dan or the chief? All right. Takes us to the Treasury's report. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval for warrant number 22, 23, 25 in the amount of $325,171.81 from the listed funds.
Do we have a motion to approve? Alderwoman Sullivan, second by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? Now on the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
7 ayes.
That warrant's been approved. Mike?
And the first warrant of the new fiscal year, we're requesting council's approval. Warrant number 232401 in the amount of $5,535.83 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended April 20th in the amount of $290,577,020.22 for a total to be approved of $296,113.05.
Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Warrant's been approved. It takes us to standing committee reports. Do any of the aldermen have anything to share with regard to their committees? Alderman Belzak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will be held on Monday, May the 22nd. It'll be at 6 p.m., and it will be in council chambers.
Alderwoman Sullivan.
The Administrative Finance Committee meeting was canceled for this evening due to lack of agenda items, and the next one is scheduled for Monday, June 5th at 6 p.m. in the conference room upstairs in City Hall.
Thank you. Michael?
The Police Pension Fund will have their quarterly meeting this Thursday, May the 4th at 6 o'clock in the police training room.
Alderman Kenny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The police committee will meet at 6 p.m. on Monday, May 15th, at 6 o'clock across the parking lot in the police training room.
And I would like to announce that the next meeting of the Darien Community Action Team will be Saturday, May 13th from 10 o'clock till 12 noon at the Indian Prairie Public Library. That takes us to questions and comments related to our agenda. Does anybody have any questions with regard to our agenda? If not, we move to old business. There being none, we move to the consent agenda. And I'll read each item. Consideration of a motion to recommend zoning ordinance revisions pertaining to short-term rentals to the Planning and Zoning Commission for public hearing and commission review. Item B, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution accepting a proposal from Steve Piper & Sons Incorporated for tub grinding services in an amount not to exceed $6,200. Item C, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing 11 private property rear yard stormwater management assistant projects in the amount of $97,011.21 of city funds. Item D, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution accepting a quote from Terrain Landscaping Contractors for the Darien Clock Tower Maintenance Project at the northeast corner of Plainfield and Cass Avenue for fountain maintenance, wall removal and replacement, resetting of the pavers, and electrical upgrades with modified lighting in an amount not to exceed $74,875. And finally, item E, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Darien and the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 150 Public Employees Division for the period May 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2028. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderman Gustafson, and the roll.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Consent agenda has been approved. Takes us to new business. I think we're getting to the point of the meeting that a lot of you are sitting here and waiting for, and that is the administration of the oath of office. As you know, we recently had an election. We are saying goodbye tonight to 2 aldermen who have served, I believe, 8 years. And we're saying hello to 2 new aldermen who hopefully will be able to serve the city serve the city well in the future. So we'll start off with yours truly taking the oath of office by by Clerk Regona, and then I'll administer the same to her.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joseph Anthony Marquez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Mayor
Mayor of the City of Darien
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Raise your right hand.
Yes, please.
I
Joanne E. Regona,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of City Clerk
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
And now I will swear in, yes,
At my
please,
age?
please. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael J. Corin,
Do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and the
Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will
discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties
the
of
duties of city treasurer of the City of Darien
according to the best of my
according to the best
ability.
of my abilities.
Congratulations. I know I have one here for you, Mike. Oh, well.
Doesn't count?
Okay. Do you want to ask the alderman to come forward then, please?
Yes, I believe we're Mr. Legansky first.
It says Ralph Stompanato.
Okay, Mr. Stompanato. Ralph, want to come up on the dais?
Here you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ralph Stompanato,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Ward 2 Alderman
the duties of Ward 2 Alderman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
You have a seat.
At the resolution.
Lester, we're going to be doing the resolutions too, so.
And then this is yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now,
Ralph, you have a chair. Mr. Legansky, Jerry?
please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jerry Legansky,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Ward 4 Alderman
the duties of Ward 4 Alderman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you.
He's warm.
Eric? Yeah, wow.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Eric Gustafson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and the
Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Ward 6
the
Alderman
duties of Ward 6 Alderman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
All right. The next item, item C, is a consideration of a motion to approve a resolution commending Alderman Tom Klistak for his contributions to the city of Darien, DuPage County, Illinois. Whereas Alderman Klistak was appointed as Alderman of Ward 4 to fill a vacancy in 2015, and whereas Alderman Klistak grew up on a farm in Michigan where he completed the requirements to become an Eagle Scout, whereas Alderman Klistak is an engineer in the automobile industry, and whereas Alderman Klistak earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Michigan Technological University, and whereas Alderman Klistak is a proud father of two and lives with his wife Joanna, and whereas Alderman Klistak has served on the municipal services and police committees, and whereas the city of Darien is relying upon individuals to provide their time, energy, and talent, ensuring the city of Darien remains a nice place to live. Now therefore be it resolved by Mayor Marquez and the City Council of the City of Darien, DuPage County, Illinois, that Alderman Tom Klistak is hereby commended for his contributions and service to the city of Darien as alderman from 2015 to 2023. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Gustafson, and the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Stumpanato,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Mayor Marquez,
Aye.
Clerk Rigona, aye. Treasurer Corn,
Aye.
Attorney Murphy,
Aye.
Administrator Vanna,
Aye.
12 approval.
Congratulations, Tom. Hold your flag.
Gotcha.
Put forward, Bob.
I know you said words. Would you like to share anything else with us?
No, it was a privilege serving everybody, serving the community, and you're in good hands with Mr. Legansky and Mr. Stefano. See you around, everybody.
Thank you, Tom. The next item is consideration of a motion to approve a resolution commending Alderman Lester Vaughn for his contributions to the city of Darien, DuPage County, Illinois. Whereas Alderman Vaughn was appointed as an alderman of Ward 2 to fill a vacancy in 2018, and whereas Alderman Vaughn was the first black alderman in the history of Darien, whereas Alderman Vaughn is Director of Business Development with over 20 years in providing business development and project management to multinational companies, and whereas Alderman Vaughn earned a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Education from Oral Roberts University, and has completed a number of professional credit project management courses. Whereas Alderman Vaughn is proud father of two and lives with his partner Lauren, and whereas Alderman Vaughn has served on the police and administrative finance committees, and whereas the city of Darien is relying upon individuals to provide their time, energy, and talent, ensuring the city of Darien remains a nice place to live. Now therefore be it resolved by Mayor Marquez and the City Council of the City of Darien, DuPage County, Illinois, that Alderman Lester Vaughn is hereby commended for his contributions and service to the City of Darien as alderman from 2018 to 2023. Motion to approve. Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Shower, and the roll.
Kenny,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Mayor Marquez,
Aye.
Clerk Rigona, aye. Treasurer Corn.
Aye.
Attorney Murphy.
Aye.
Administrator Vanna.
Aye.
12 ayes.
Congratulations, Lester.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll let you hold that, and we got a picture.
Smile.
All right, I know you have a few words you want to say.
Feels kind of different being on this side.
Now you know what I feel like.
Yeah. But I want my 3 minutes though. All right. So first, I would like to say thank you to the mayor and the city council for such a kind resolution. I'm truly honored to have served on the city council with such committed group of individuals. We've been through a lot in the last, I would say, 6-8 years, from fighting against stereogenics to the pandemic. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and I can't wait to see the implementation of the long journey of the 67th and Clarendon Hills Road and surrounding areas, making it more safer. So I would also like to thank Brian Vanna for his leadership. When I first joined the city council, you greeted me, you shook my hand, and you said, if you ever need anything, my door is open. So you've always been that kind of guy. The city of Darien is lucky to have you. You're a stalwart to the community, and you're a consistent guidepost to this community as well. So I would like to thank Dan Gombach, Chief Thomas, and the city staff for all the efforts of making Darien a nice place to live. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my family for all their support, encouragement over the years, and I truly couldn't have been successful without them by my side. My family and I planted our foundation in Darien with the intent to be a part of the fabric of the community. From the time I was a teenager, I have actively sought out opportunities to give back to my community through public service. I've served in several leadership roles in my life, and what I've learned is that public service is not just a phrase. It's not a phase or a social club. It's a call to action. It requires commitment and sacrifice. I am proud to be in the rich legacy and history of such a great community like Darien. My family and I will remain active in the community, and I stress to the council to always remember you represent an entire city out there full of diversity, young families, people who deserve opportunities, and meaningful representation. Darien is a nice place to live, but don't just settle for nice. Always strive for greatness. Make it dynamic, and make all residents proud to live here. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Can I get a picture of all the newly elected people?
Yeah. Eric and Ralph and Jerry, would you come up here, and we're going to stand up here and we'll get a picture taken.
We're re-elected.
You're reelected.
Yeah.
This time I don't have to jump.
With the election of several new aldermen, we had to reconstitute our city committees. We have 3 city committees.
Almost.
Our police committee, our municipal services committee, and our, administrative finance committee. And you were informed of those committee selections that I made. Alderman Belzak will remain chairman of municipal services. Alderwoman Sullivan will remain chairperson of administrative finance. And Alderman Kenny will remain as chairman of the police committee. So I'm looking for a motion to advise and consent to Mayor Marquez's council committee appointments and chairman thereof. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Gustafson. And again, any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
7 ayes.
That's been approved. Thank you very much. At this time, we look to reappoint our department heads. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the reappointment of department heads, Greg Thomas, Police Chief, and Daniel Gombeck, Director of Municipal Services. Moved by Alderman Kenny, second by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Kenny.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The reappointments have been approved. And finally, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution approving an employee leasing agreement with GovTemps USA LLC for the continuation of services of Mr. Brian Vanna, our city administrator. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Could I have all three in front of me here?
No short jokes, Dan. Don't give me a chair to stand on.
All right, would you all please raise your right hand? And repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and they will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of municipal services
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, Sullivan.
Congratulations, and let's see, I got the chief here. And it's, thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate your
And
commitment.
Brian, thank you.
Hi, Chief.
Thanks,
Good to
Brian.
meet you.
Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Chief.
That takes us through our new business. It takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. I'd like to start off by making a few comments. We have been very fortunate in Darien to have city councils that are not partisan. I oftentimes tell people the reason Darien is successful is because we run as independents. We don't run as members of a political party. I believe our two new members aspire to that. I think they run for the reason that we all ran, and that is that we want to best serve the community that we live in. And I think that is the reason why Darien truly is a nice place to live. I want to say thank you very much to former Alderman Klistak and former Alderman Vaughn. It was an interesting 8 years, Tom, and it was an interesting 5 years, Lester. And I will miss both of you for very different reasons, but I will. For Ralph and for Jerry, thank you very much for running. You're going to be making some tough decisions. I hope the decisions you make, you always make from a non-emotional state, but for what is best for the residents. Alderman Shower and several other the alder people up here will tell you we face tough decisions, and we will face decisions that not everybody in that audience will be happy with. But if we know it's the right decision, then we will make that decision. And Alderman Kenny and the rest will tell you there are times when that takes place. I wish you well. Don't hesitate to ask for help and assistance. I know that the two of you have spent some time with Mr. Vanna. Don't hesitate to call me. Don't hesitate to stop in the office. I'm here every day. And don't hesitate to ask your fellow alder people for advice. That's what they're here for. I want to congratulate both of you. I think you'll do an excellent job. and I really wish you well. So thank you very much. Would Ralph or Jerry, would either one of you like to say anything?
Wow.
Now you
I've,
tell them.
Yeah. I've always spoken from that podium, and it started 16 years ago, and it's started there, and it's now here. So I want to thank so many people from Ward 4 that are here. I had so much support from my wife, my family, neighbors. We have a very close-knit relationship. We have a very good community, very good neighborhood, and I want to take what I started in my neighborhood out to the entire ward, and I want to be a model for other wards in the city because I do think it works. It keeps everybody informed. It keeps everybody, a lot of information can be shared. They can share concerns, and I look forward to it. So thank you very much.
Ralph?
I too look forward to the journey ahead. I've lived in Darien most of my adult life. I had a business in Darien for over 20 years. I've seen Darien grow. I've seen Darien struggle at times. I do thank my family for supporting me on this. I've talked about doing this for probably the last 20 years, so I was getting to the point where I either do it or I'll never do it. And I appreciate their support, and I just appreciate everybody in Ward 2, and I'm looking forward to representing them along with the entire city. And I thank Lester for his service in the years prior. Thank you.
Alderman Gustafson?
Yeah, I have a lot of people to thank, and especially my wife Debbie, who went through a lot. But there are a lot of people went out there and tried to get the word out and stuff to vote. I'm very, very happy about the turnout that came out in my ward. I mean, I think it was over 30% when the turnout was only about 20% for all of DuPage County. So I applaud everybody for getting out to vote, getting their kids out to vote, and I look forward to the next 4 years.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anything else? Mary?
Just welcome everybody and goodbye and thank you for your service. And thank you, Mayor and Joanne, City Clerk, and Treasurer Corrin for signing up for another 4 years. We're very fortunate to have your service as well. I did want to thank the Mayor and the City of Darien for giving me and a few others the opportunity to represent Darien in the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference and in the Illinois Municipal League Drive Down Lobby Day. It was my first time going, and I'm so glad I had that opportunity. It was very informative. We got to meet quite a few legislators, as well as spend some time with an IDOT representative, which I know I'm a broken record, but that's something I'm very passionate about. But I think it was just really important for us as a community to be representative. And Mayor Marquez has been the president of DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference this last year. And he has been a highly respected and appreciated leader. And I think he's really, not that Darien wasn't on the map before, we have been on the map, but he's really highlighted our community in a very positive way, and it's really going to aid us in the long run for many, many years to come, his leadership and service there. And I'm glad I had the opportunity. Alderman Kenny was there, Administrator Vanna, along with Mayor Marquez, and I encourage everyone else up here to try to attend next year or the conference in the fall, because you really do have a lot of great takeaways, and you make some great connections as well down there that will serve our community well.
Thank you, Mary. Anyone else? I'm going to go on my soapbox a little bit. One of the reasons, look at my wife, she puts her head down like one of the reasons we went down to Springfield was to encourage the state legislature to restore the local government distributive fund. I'm going to give you a real quick synopsis. Back in 1970, Governor Ogilvy instituted a state income tax. Mayor Daley and other municipalities could not. So an agreement was made that every year the state of Illinois would return 10% of those taxes that were collected to each municipality on a per capita basis. That worked fine from 1971 to 2011. State of Illinois ran into some financial difficulties in 2011, and they lowered it from 10% to 6%. They have tried to take it away entirely. The city of Darien between 2011 and 2023 has lost $14 million in possible state revenue. That is your money. And that's money that goes to infrastructure improvement and public safety. The state of Illinois, municipalities throughout the whole state of Illinois, in that 11, 12-year period, lost $8 billion. We went down with Springfield. I had a meeting with the governor. We are working to get that number back up again. What I ask you to do is this: call your state legislator and let them know you want to see them vote to support the restoration of the local government distributive fund. There is a bill sponsored by Representative Anthony DeLuca, a former mayor, that would call for that restoration on an incremental basis. I ask you to do that because they will be making a decision by May 19th with regard to whether or not they're going to give us any or all of that back. So I'm asking you, I think it's Representative Evgofsky who took Representative Durkin's role. He's one of our reps, and Representative Ann Stava Murray, who also has a part of Darien. And I would also recommend you call Senator John Curran and let them know you want restoration of LGDF. That is the only way we're going to get it back, folks. We went down there and made a very convincing argument. And I looked at the governor, and the governor said, Joe, I agree. We need to raise it. He said, I don't think you'll ever get 10, but we may give you 8. And I looked at him and I said, well, we'll take 8. He said, well, not this year. And I said, well, we need something back. We need to get it back. I need your help. This is your money, not mine. It's your money. These are taxes you pay to the state is keeping. Okay? There's $1.3 billion there. And the state needs to give you your money back so we could do the things we need to do with that money. So I ask you, give your state reps a call and tell them you want to see a restoration of that. And I'm sorry I'm on my soapbox about it, but it's critical to me. It's important because if we get that money, even if we get some of that money, even if we get 1%, 1% for Darien would be $350,000. And we could do a lot with that. We could do a lot with our public, for our infrastructure. We could do a lot for our police. So please do that. And with that, I'll end my soapbox speech. Anyone else up here?
I'm going to add to it because one of the legislators in Springfield told us when you're having those conversations with your legislator, ask them point blank, how are you voting on that issue? Make them commit to how they're going to vote because then that will give more teeth to the conversations you're making.
Last year we had 85 of them who committed to the bill. 85. The governor didn't want to called for a vote. It didn't get called for a vote, and they gave us 0.16 increase. So we went from 6.0 to 6.16, which was about, I guess we made a couple $100 last year, but please do that. If there's nothing else, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Schauer, second by Alderman Kenny. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.